CO, welcome to Native Tongue, my channel here on YouTube, and I'm just getting back into doing videos again, and I'm really excited about the upcoming videos that I have planned. But today we are going to show you about all the things that I carry in my haversack when I go out on a day trip. Just normal everyday hiking trip, nothing special, no camping, no overnighters, nothing like that. Just an everyday carry for when I go hiking and just wandering out in the wilderness. So the first thing that I always carry with me is my knife, and it's a Mora knife. I think this is the Garberg, and I really like it. It's stainless and it's full tang. It's got a pommel on the end, so you can crush nuts, you can crush different things you might need to do to make medicines or food or anything like that. So it's always a good thing to have a knife. And around my knife I keep paracord, because you never know when you're going to need a guy line or something like that to use. Paracord has thousands of uses. And with paracord I have some more paracord, but this is mainly, I use this for a guy line. It's got night eyes, adjustable clips or carabiners on the end of it, so you can adjust, if you're depending on the trees you use or whatever you use to put your guy line up on, you can adjust the tightness of it and get that good and sorted out. Next thing you need to carry if you carry a knife is you're going to need to carry a first aid kit. So always carry a first aid kit. I'm not going to show you guys what's in it because it's just redundancy. It's just band-aids, ibuprofen. I have really bad sinuses, so I keep sinus medication in there, tape, just different bandages, different burn cream, things like that. Speaking of burn cream, next thing I carry is my fire kit. Now, you always need a fire kit just in case you get stuck outside, get lost, or can't find your way home, it gets dark, and you need a fire to cook on. You need a fire to cook on, you need a fire for light, you need a fire for heat, you need a fire for making your water drinkable, all of those things. So a fire kit's good. And what I keep in here is I always keep a lighter. I keep a little thing of cotton balls to make it easier to start a fire with. If you can't find any sort of tinder or anything to start a fire, you can always use cotton balls. And ferro rod and striker. I have 2 ferro rod and strikers in here, and I have flint and steel and char cloth. So I always keep that with me. My shemagh, which I always keep with me. You can filter out water with that. I filter big things out of water, sticks and dirt and sediment and things like that. You can filter those out of the water with that. A notebook to write down all possible video ideas or just poetry in general, things that I just want to write down to remind myself. A poncho. You can use that to build a temporary shelter. Like I say, if you get stuck out at night, can't find your way back, you might need to stay the night. So always keep a little temporary shelter on you, and that's what the guy lines are for. A microphone kit for doing videos. So I always keep a microphone kit with me for doing videos. My Stanley cook set, which is good for making coffee, tea, food, boiling water, make it sterile, all those good things. You can always use a good cook set. Then a flashlight. This is the Nebo Torchy 2K. I like this little flashlight. It's bright as hell, and like I say, if you get stuck out at night, you need to find your way around the woods, find a place to set up a camp, anything like that, you can do that by using a flashlight. So it's easier to have a flashlight than just trying to do things by the light of the moon, trust me. Next thing is always carry a pen with me to write down my ideas with. I always carry a cup with me so that I can drink my coffee after I'm done cooking it. or after I boil water, and I can let my water cool and drink my water that way, instead of just drinking it right out of the pot. Next is a Multitool Leatherman Wave Plus. I love this little guy. It's got everything you could possibly want to use it for. Knife, saw, it's got everything. I really love this little guy. Alright, and next we have, if I can get it out of the pocket here, my stove. It's just a firebox stove. You guys have seen these, I'm sure. If you watch bushcraft videos, you've seen these a million and plus times, but it's just a firebox stove, nothing special, but I like it. It's a great little stove. It works really, really well. I've never had any issues with it at all. It's a little on the weighty side, it's kind of heavy, but hey, that's my fault for buying the steel one instead of the titanium one. So, but I like it all the same, just the same. I like it. Next, plastic bags. You can put your trash in these. You can put things that you find in here. If you go foraging, you can keep mushrooms in here, nuts, berries. It's kind of hard to gather a bunch of berries in your hand and try to find something to put them in. So I always keep plastic bags with me just in case. You can put waste in there, garbage, whatever. Keep the area clean where you're at. And that's about it for what I have in there. The only other thing that I have are some leather gloves that I keep with me. Keep these little leather gloves with me at all times, just in case I need to take something hot off the fire, or if I'm cooking, I can take my pot off and not burn my hands. Always a good idea to have those. And that's about it. That's all I really have, except for let's see, my handkerchief I showed you in the last video, and a compass. Always carry a compass with me because you never know when you're going to get lost. I got lost a couple years ago, actually. Funny story. Me and my daughter went out to a place that I've never been before. It was a place up in North Georgia, and the trails were not marked at all. I think it was a new set of trails. I'm not sure, but the trails really weren't marked. And so we just started out, and my daughter I think she was around 8 or 9 years old, somewhere around there. Started out, and we were having a good time just walking through the woods, and I was trying to pay attention to different landmarks and things like that. I could see, coming back. And unfortunately, coming back, it was a totally different site. Ended up getting lost, and we ended up hiking around, I think it was like 8 miles or something like that. I ended up carrying her on my back for most of that. My wife actually hacked into my Google account and tried to find where my last cell phone ping was. She called the rangers, the park rangers, and the park rangers came out to look for us, which, funny enough, I'd found my way out. By the time the park rangers got there, we had just missed them. They called her back and asked, if she had heard from me. I had called her by that time, so we had made it out before the park rangers actually got to us. But luckily, I found my way back. I thought we were going to be spending the night out there. So, so you never know when you're going to get lost. I mean, even the best. I'm not saying I'm one of the best or the best, but even the best hikers and outdoorsmen get lost sometimes. At some point in their time, at some point in their life, they will get lost. So you never know when you're going to get lost. Things happen. The light changes throughout the day. Things look different. You get turned around, lost in the woods. It's always good to have your equipment with you. You can survive overnight if you have to, until help comes and you can be rescued. So just keep that in mind. People say, "Oh, it won't happen to me," but yeah, it can happen to you. You can definitely get lost, and you're gonna need a way. You're gonna need to find a way to you know, stop what you're doing, observe your surroundings, you know, think about things, don't panic, think about things that you need to do, try to recall, you know, where you came from. If you can, look for, you know, if it's wet outside, look for footprints, you know, things like that you can trace yourself back to where you began, which is what I had to do. I had to just basically look at things and try to track my way back to the beginning of the trail. So luckily I could do that. Luckily I got out of there and didn't have to have the ranger's help. But you know, it was pretty scary for my daughter and myself at the time. So, but that's all I have for you guys today. Later this week I'm going to be doing a video, campfire tales video. It's I'm going to be doing it at night. It's going to be a story about one of the scariest things I've ever had happen to me while camping. So I'm going to be doing that probably Wednesday night, and that'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. And next weekend we're going to 3 different state parks. So I'll have a pretty long video for you guys and show you guys around North Georgia. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys have an excellent Saturday and have a good one.